Welcome back to the Educational Numismatist, everybody. Thank you once again for tuning in to the channel. Please subscribe so that you don't miss any of our helpful educational videos. For today, what we are going to do is take you through the process of submitting a coin to PCGS. Now, this is basically interchangeable with any of the other grading services, but the actual submission process I will handle in a separate video. But initially, what I want to do is help you understand how I evaluate whether or not to submit a coin. Okay, so you've got to understand that before you can determine whether it's worth your financial while to submit a coin, you've got to go through a couple of steps. So the first is to identify, what the coin is. In this case, it's a nice little 1881 San Francisco Morgan dollar in mint state condition. The obverse has a very nice strike, which is typical for San Francisco. Does have a couple of dings in the field, like right there behind her head. And again, in front of her face, she's got a little bit of contact mark. And there are a little bit of impacts to her cheek right there. But overall, as Morgan dollars go, this is a pretty decent looking surface. And the reverse of the coin shows almost no flaws. There is a little bit of a scuff mark there on the right. There are a couple of minor marks above the motto. But overall, it is remarkably free of any real issues. There's a little bit of contact to the left of the wing there. But overall, I consider this to be a pretty high-grade specimen. So, the next issue is, all right, how do we get an idea of what this thing might grade as? Well, the first thing you want to do is take a look at the high points. All right, and on a Morgan dollar, those are right there above the ear, that hairline. You want to see good detail, just like that. That's a pretty good strike. On the reverse, the eagle's breast feathers are among the highest points, and then the eagle's talons as he's grabbing the wreath and the arrow. Those have some very fine detail to them that tends to get worn away very quickly if the coin has been subjected to circulation. So, how else can you try to get a good comparison? Well, you can use various different resources. One of my go-to sites is the PCGS website. They have a sub-site called PhotoGrade where you can go into their site, select the denomination, select the actual coin series, and then you can pull up pictures like this, where this is a coin that PCGS graded mint state 63. And as you can see, there are several areas where this coin has been subjected to impacts, scuffs, scratches. We've got all kinds of little things going on all over the surface of this coin. Okay? Now, the other thing is, on the reverse, you can do the same thing. And you can get a good feel for, okay, we've got contact here, more up here, we've got a bunch in here, we've got some in here, the breast has been scuffed. So, this is a coin that has seen some abuse, although not wear and tear. So, when you see that as a mint state 63, I look at this one and say, okay, yes, we do have an unfortunate little impact up there, But that's about all I really see. There is a very minor issue here, another minor issue over there, and that's really about it on the obverse. And on the reverse, you've almost got nothing, but you've got very minor stuff going on over here, and a very little trace here, and another little trace there. So, in my opinion, if I was to go look at a mint state 64, which still has, whoops, that's a 63. There's a 64. That still has a lot of issues going on here compared to the coin we have. And then a 65 even has issues. So I can't say that this coin might not hit 65. It might. It might not. It might hit a 63. Unfortunately, there might be something wrong with it that I don't detect, and it comes back as a detail coin, which sucks because they don't give a grade to those. But I would estimate this one to be conservative at mint state 63 based on what we've just looked at. Now, the other thing, if you are fortunate enough to have one, and I do, I've got a physical 1881S, the exact same date mint mark, graded by PCGS as a mint state 63. And as you can see on this coin, there are issues on the cheek. There are issues in front of her face, in front of her eyes. You do have pretty nice detail, just like what we showed on the coin we're looking at and evaluating. And on the reverse, very much the same. You've got a very clean field and really very little imperfections going on the back. So, all the more reason I am confident and comfortable conservatively grading this one as an estimate mint state 63. Okay, so then you've got your grade, or at least what you have estimated your grade to be. Now you go back out to PCGS or a suitable comparable website and you pull up the price guide and you go down to the the date and mint mark that you're looking for. And you want to be careful. You want to make sure you're looking at a mint state coin as opposed to a proof-like surface or a deep mirror proof-like surface, neither of which is this coin. So for a mint state coin, in 63, you're looking at a price guide estimate of about $90. If it made 64, you're looking at about 115, and if it did make a 65, you're looking at about 185. So that will give you a decent range. Okay, now what you've also got to consider is that currently PCGS is charging $28 per coin to grade. Okay, so if you think this coin will grade a mint state 63, and that's roughly $90, you've got to also understand that you're going to be paying another $28 on top of that. So you're basically looking at $120 all in. And you're hoping that the coin ends up hitting that grade. If it doesn't, you've lost money. If it does better, you might make a little bit of money. But that is kind of how I go through the process of evaluating whether or not to submit a coin for grading, trying to estimate the grade, trying to estimate a price, and then determining whether or not I think it's really worthwhile. I mean, is that really a coin worthy of submission, or is that just a nice looking coin for me to appreciate and sell as is raw to somebody who can appreciate a high quality 81S? So with that, I will let this video end and we will pick it up on the other side. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I do hope to have you all subscribing. This is the Educational Numismatist saying until next time.